Okay, and last example, okay, it's a very practical example. It's for capital budgeting, and it's on number 8 of your. It's in Canvas number 8 exercise for sensitivity analysis. I'll read it briefly. It's the manager. There's a graph, okay, so you can see it in your Canvas. The managers of Eagle Manufacturing Company considering the purchase of an equipment to increase the capacity at Center B. Obviously, Center B equipment is binding. The equipment would cost $10,000. Ito na, there's now a cost to the equipment. It will add 30 hours per week in addition to the existing 240 hours per week. Question: if Eagle's management requires 20% ROI for its capital investment, capital expenditures, capex niya, should the company purchase the equipment? Okay? So, how do we approach this problem? First is what is required. Okay? So, the price of equipment is $10,000. Okay? And it will, this new equipment, additional capacity is 30 hours per week. Existing capacity is 240 hours per week. Based on Solver, there's a graph based on Solver. It's that one. If you need this first, okay, the answer report and the solve and the sensitivity report. The shadow price daw is equal to 2.083 per hour. Allowable increase is equal to 30 hours. Okay. Ito yung based on Solver. So question: should the company buy this $10,000 equipment, and with the required ROI, meaning ROI should be at least 20%. Okay? Okay, so how do you approach this? Siyempre, we try to find out what will be the increase in profit if this equipment is purchased. Okay, what will be, and will it and if you compute the ROI, will it exceed the 20% minimum ROI to justify, di ba? We have our hurdle rates. Each of our companies have hurdle rates to justify capex. And for this company, the hurdle rate is 20% ROI daw. So, now how do we compute for the increase in profit per year? In order to compute for the ROI, we need to find out what is the increase in profit per year. Okay. So, of course, it will come from shadow price, di ba? The shadow price is the increase or decrease in your objective. In this case, it's profit. In that case, it's profit. In this case, it's also profit. So, we use the shadow price. But first of all, can we use this shadow price? Okay, because the shadow price only applies when the allowable increase is 30 hours. So, we go back to what's given. Sabi, the equipment daw will add 30 hours per week. Therefore, the conclusion is yes. Yes, because it's within the range. It's within the range. It's within this range. So therefore, the shadow price can be used. So if we can use the shadow price, 2.083 times per hour and 30 hours per week. And para to convert this into yearly increase in profit, let's say 50 na lang weeks per year. Okay? And this should be equal to 60, 50. Okay. Who was a calculator? So, can we compute for the 2.083? Okay. I have a calculator here. So, 2.083 times 30 times 50. So 0.083 times 30 times 50. So it's equal to 3124.5. It's equal to 3124.5. So what's the ROI? Assuming this is recurring. So 3124.5 divided by $10,000, di ba? Which is equal to 31.245% return, which is greater than the hurdle rate of 20%. Therefore, conclusion, buy. So this is post-optimality analysis. So not only will it enable you to determine what needs to be done, which constraints to work on, will it be equipment, will it be manpower, will it be budget? Because if it's budget, then you will have to justify taking out a loan. If it's demand, then you will have to do something about increasing marketing budget. If it's equipment, you have to think about buying new equipment or upgrading your existing equipment. So the big problem is, how do you justify? Because all of those options will mean you will have to spend money, especially if financial resources are limited. So this is very important, because not only will you be able to identify exactly which constraints you have to work on. That's why I always recommend that whatever constraints you have to include, you can think about, you have to include in your formulation. Okay? You don't just say capacity. Okay? You specify what are those capacity constraints. Is it budget? Is it equipment? And equipment might be equipment. There are several equipment. Manpower, not just say manpower, because there might be several departments. Okay? So, for you to identify exactly where the problems are, where the bottlenecks are. Okay? To pinpoint exactly what needs to be done, and to justify what measures have to be done. And that's a very tough task for all of us in business. Not just identifying, but justifying what needs to be done. Okay? So that is post-optimality analysis, ladies and gentlemen.